Have you ever played a game where you pretend something is real when it isn't? I like to use my imagination to pretend, but sometimes it's hard to know what is really true. One time, I imagined I had wings like an aeroplane so I could fly. But it was only pretend. I didn't really have wings. Merlin thinks that he can make himself disappear. But he can't really make himself invisible. It's only pretend. Sometimes it's important to know what's real and what's pretend. But playing make-believe games can still be fun.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time! Do you ever find it difficult when things change? Or you have to get used to something new? I know sometimes I do. When Hugo first came to Sodor, we weren't very kind to him. We had never seen an engine like him before. But once we got to know him, we realized that he was actually very nice. Gordon was very unhappy that both Edward and Henry were leaving the sheds, and that Nia was going to be sleeping there instead. But in the end, he realized that changing where they slept didn't need to change their friendship. And he could even be friends with Nia too. Sometimes, all it takes is a little time to get used to something new. And before you know it, it almost feels like it's always been that way.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time!
Everyone makes mistakes, but things can get much worse if we don't admit them and say sorry. Once, I was too embarrassed to admit I had made a mistake. So, I made up an engine called Jeffrey and blamed him. But that made things even worse. Saying sorry can be really hard to do. Once, Diesel found it so hard to apologize to Daisy, he only said sorry when he thought she was asleep. James also found it very hard to say sorry, but in the end, he apologized to everyone for blocking the bridge. Even though it's not always easy to say sorry, it is a very important thing to do. It shows your friends that you care about their feelings.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time!
Have you ever thought about being a hero? Heroes aren't just in the movies. Heroes can be anyone who does something good to help somebody else. Like Philip. When James almost fell off a bridge, it was Philip who came to his rescue. And Stephen once risked his own safety to stop Gordon from going over a broken bridge. And when I thought I was rescuing the actor, I wasn't trying to be an action hero. I was just trying to keep the actor safe. You don't need to be in a film to be a hero. You just need to help somebody in need. Maybe you'll be a hero one day. Maybe you already are.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time. Have you ever looked really carefully, hoping to see something? Sometimes, while looking for one thing, you spot a whole lot of other things you didn't expect to see. Stephen was looking for a way out of Ulfstead Mine when he found something else. Treasure! And when I was in China, nobody expected to see a giant panda in the wild. I kept seeing other animals. But I'm glad I didn't give up looking, because eventually I spotted some giant pandas. Some animals need our help so they can live happy lives, even in the wild. There are many things you can do to help, but the easiest and best thing you can do is find out all about them.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time! Have you ever played a game that got out of hand? Sometimes a game can stop being fun, or even hurt someone's feelings. One time, Diesel played a trick on Paxton by getting all the Diesels to hide from him. Paxton was very upset and thought all the Diesels had left the island. Another time, I was racing with Max and Monty. It was good fun, until they took the game too far. They raced over the railway line and could have caused an accident. Bill and Ben thought their game of Hunt the Truck was very funny, until they were the ones who couldn't find their truck. Edward was trying to teach them that it's not a good game unless everyone who's playing can enjoy it.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time! It can be hard for animals to find places to live when there are so many people around all the time. I remember when Luke made friends with a young deer. But the quarry was far too noisy for the little thing. The peace and quiet of the Ulfstead Castle grounds was a much better home for the deer. Rajiv and I both wanted to see a tiger. And so did a lot of other people. But the tigers didn't really want to be seen, and it wasn't always a good idea for people to find them either. Sometimes, the best way to help animals live happily and in peace is by leaving them and their homes alone.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time! Have you ever helped to look after an animal? Maybe you have a pet at home or at school in your classroom. Luke once found a little deer who was scared by all the noise at the quarry. So he brought it to a place that was safe and quiet. One winter, I brought some animals to Tidmouth Sheds to keep warm. All the engines helped. Even James warmed to the idea.
Here, chickie, chickie, chick. Come to Uncle James. Oh, how cute.
Looking after animals is important and can be fun. Think about the animals around you and what they need to be safe and happy. Maybe you can find a way to help.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time! Have you ever found it hard to understand what someone is trying to tell you? I know I have. But sometimes it's just about paying more attention. One time, when Samson was going to the quarry, he coupled up to coaches instead of trucks. The other engines tried to tell him he'd made a mistake, but Samson ignored them and took passenger coaches to pick up some rocks. If I'd paid more attention to what the monkey was trying to tell me in the first place, I might have realized that he wanted to go home. And I might have seen the spilled coconuts in time to save them from being squashed. It's important to pay attention when someone is trying to tell you something. And it's good to ask questions if you don't understand. But right now, I need to pay attention to the station master.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time!